Hi, everyone. I'm just going to give a moment as folks trickle in from the waiting room. Okay, just another moment. I know we are waiting on a few people to join. Okay, great. Hi, everyone, and welcome. I'm Sarah Bassett, the MOQ1 Knowledge Manager, and I'm excited to guide you through the final session in this advanced webinar series. Whether you're just starting out with MOQ1 or you've been using the platform for a while, this series was designed to give you the tools and insights you need to grow your business. Each week, we've been diving into powerful strategies, tips, and best practices to help you unlock the full potential of MOQ1. We're closing this series out today, talking about store building strategies and optimization. And I'm excited to share with you how you can optimize your store setup to align with your clients' goals and exceed their expectations. So today, we will be talking through the benefits of different types of stores and when each could be the right shop style for your clients, reviewing the process for building each of these store types, and going over product and design related optimization tips, like excluding designs from certain product colors and removing unnecessary color options from certain products. As always, we'll have time for a Q&A at the end, so feel free to submit your questions in the Q&A section as we go, and I'll be sure to address them. Later this afternoon, you can also look out for a follow-up email that'll include a recording of this webinar, along with any resources relevant to topics that may come up during our Q&A session. So remember, this is the final session of our advanced series, but it's just the beginning of what you can achieve with MOQ1. Let's dive in and make your stores even more effective. We're going to talk through several shop building processes and strategies today, but regardless of how you build your MOQ1 shops, you're gaining access to a host of benefits. So first of all, stores are open 24/7 and completely free. You can create an unlimited number of stores and include an unlimited number of designs in those stores. The product list prices out of the box include a 30% commission for you automatically. All products listed in your shop are in stock and available to begin printing immediately. Shops are automatically integrated with state-of-the-art production and fulfillment in Detroit. Orders ship directly to your customers, and customer service, reporting, and marketing materials are all included. With these benefits, there's really no wrong way to build a shop, but depending on the client and their specific needs, there may be a strategy that helps you ensure the best possible shop experience. Now, when I talk to MOQ1 users about what drew them to our platform, they express a lot of frustrations with the previous Webstore creation and management process they were using. MOQ1's instant shop creation is usually what they say caught their attention first. That instant shop creation addresses a major point of friction that's been pervasive within the promotional products industry since clients started asking for shops. They take too long to build, right? So let's start with a quick review of the basics. Our instant shop creation was designed to achieve a few primary goals. We wanted to enable you to build and manage shops quickly, automate the product selection and inventory management process, make the process simple and accessible to folks with varying levels of technological experience, and make it easier for you to connect with your clients, connect your clients with merchandise. So let's jump over to the portal here. I'm going to share my screen again. And let's roll through the basics. This is our instant shop creation process. So I've already gone in here and named my shop. Step one is just going to be selecting my shop colors. Now, for those of you that are unfamiliar, selecting shop colors here are going to translate into the product colors that populate my shop. Next, I'm going to upload my design here. And the last step here is just to launch my shop. So with this process, you're able to almost instantly create a fully populated shop that includes hundreds of products with out-of-the-box retail prices. And again, these include a 30% margin for your company. Okay. So there are some unique benefits of these automatically created shops. First of all, the product mix is updated anytime we add new products that match your attributes. And this allows you to keep the product mix fresh without any real effort. You can also add new product colors to your entire catalog at once by updating your shop colors. Managing product pricing for your entire catalog at once is super simple. You can add as many designs as you'd like, and they'll all be available on every product in your shop without any extra work. Your customers are also empowered to build their perfect product while existing within the confines of your color and logo selections, which is going to enable an incredible customer experience. This automated shop type is best for businesses that want to quickly scale their product offerings or operate with larger inventory without spending time manually curating. However, this process is not for every client. Some clients have branding restrictions that limit maybe the clothing brands that can bear their logos or restrict certain artwork from appearing in certain print locations. Others may need to manually select and approve every individual product that's available in their shops. I know at least one of you in the crowd is dealing with a client who has to have board approval of every product that's in the shop. So for those clients, you can utilize a few alternative shop building strategies. Let's move to the other end of the spectrum and talk about shops that are built exclusively from featured products. This strategy will give you complete control over the product mix, the designs available on each product, and the design placement for each product you add. It also creates a simplified shopping experience for your clients' customers. The process of creating a featured product shop aligns more with a traditional shop building experience. You will build each product one by one. It also requires manual updates to update the product mix and color variants. And it's really ideal for shops that are focusing on exclusive items or specific product lines, such as limited time offer designs, seasonal collections, company uniform shops, or company shops, again, with strict brand guidelines. So let's hop back into the management portal and review the process of building a featured product shop. For those of you that attended one of our previous webinars, this should be pretty familiar, but we allow you to build these shops manually with products one by one added to your catalog. So we're going to click Create Shop here and name our shop. I'm going to name this one Axiom Media. And what we do here in order to avoid having our shop populated with products is avoid selecting shop colors. Now here, when I save my changes, I'm going to actually turn off this onboarding experience so that I can go and curate the product selection myself. Okay, so now here I'll go into designs and I'm going to upload designs for the featured products that I plan to build. So I created this fictional company called Axiom Media and created a few logos here. And I'm just going to upload all of these really quickly, so please bear with me. And we'll create a featured product from each one of these designs, just so you can see how the process may differ depending on the product colors that you want to include. Okay, just a few more here. Now, it's important to note that when you are uploading designs for those automated shops, designs that you upload are automatically included in the storefront. But here, because we don't have any products, because we haven't selected any product colors, these are just designs that I can work with as I'm building my featured products. So now I'm going to head to products here, and you'll see I'm actually landing in an excluded state because there are 0 products included in my catalog. So I can pick and choose every individual product here in this circumstance. So I am going to stick with the G500 t-shirt here. When I open up the product details, I will scroll to the bottom of the listing and click New Featured Product. That will enable me to essentially select every individual aspect of this product. So it's really similar to the manual product building process you may be familiar with through other platforms. So I'm going to call this the Axiom Media Dark Cotton Tee. And I can select from any of the 4 logos that I uploaded to my shop here when I'm building my featured products. I can also tie each featured product into a particular design placement location or give my customers or my clients' customers the freedom to select from either of these positioning options on the front end when they're making their purchasing decisions. So I'm just going to make this a full front option. Okay, and I want this to be available on white, so I'm going to include the white product color. I'm also going to include sport gray. It's important to note you can select as many color options here as you'd like. You can also customize the product description and you can update the pricing for these products individually as well. I'm going to include that in my catalog and click Save Changes. Now, when I head back to products, you'll see that featured product that we just created is the only product that's included in my catalog. I'm going to go back. I'm just going to build one more just for the sake of demonstration, and then I'll show you a fully populated shop that I have created prior to this demonstration as well. Okay, so now we are going to call this the Axia Media Dark Cotton Tee. And I'm going to make this one the light variant so that I can select a dark color. Okay. And I'm just going to leave this one black, include this in my product catalog, and save my changes just for the sake of brevity. Okay, so now we can see we have our 2 products that were created manually. The last step here for these featured product shops is to go in and launch your shop. Because we turned off that onboarding, you'll see in the settings, there's this big green activate button. This is the one that's going to put my shop online and activate my shop URL. Okay, now that that is live, you'll see I have just created a shop with 2 featured products. There are no product filters here because you can see every product in the catalog on one page without scrolling. Let's take you to a featured product shop that I created with a few more options that will highlight kind of the extent of what you can do with these featured product shops as well. So this one I created for my fictional client, Markham Motors. This may look familiar to some of you. I've shown it off a few times. But this one, I have only 2 brands available, but I have multiple product filters that are available because those brands, or I'm sorry, those products are reaching across multiple departments, multiple gender filters, etc. So as you scroll through this shop, these products are displayed in the order in which I created them. So this product here was created first, second, third, etc. So I really curated the way that this shop looks on the front end for customers that are visiting the shop. Let's just take a look here really quickly at what the product experience is like for your customers. So this one is actually a multiple print product. So I have locked in this left chest print on the front and a full back logo on the back of the product as well. And I've made 3 product colors available for the customer to select. However, they are not able to make any design selections and they're not able to make any design placement selections because this is a featured product. So this gives you, again, the most control possible over the individual products and the display of your storefront. Okay, let's jump back over to our presentation. Okay, so it's important to note that you don't need to choose between a fully automated and fully curated shop like I just showed off. There are several ways to customize the product selection in an automatically generated catalog to balance a curated selection with those dynamic products. So the 3 options that we will go over today are excluding products, categories, or combinations of attributes from your product manager. It's worth noting that this type of exclusion will not result in a fixed product selection. It will only exclude products that match the attributes you selected when you created your product exclusion rule. So for instance, if you go in and exclude 3 particular products, that will not make sure that your product mix is fixed to only those that are left over. If you selected shop colors and we add new products that match your shop colors, those will still be added to your shop. The second option is to add featured products to your automatically created shops to customize your product feed. So that means you would utilize that 1, 2, 3 shop creation and then add a few featured products to your shop in order to customize that landing page that your customers are experiencing when they visit your shop. The third option is to manually select styles to include in your catalog. So we're kind of flipping the strategy with this option. And this ensures that your product mix is fixed, but still empowers your customers to choose their favorite product and design combination before checking out. So these strategies for blended shops are ideal for businesses looking for a blend of personalized and automated approaches. Okay. So let's chat about one of the simpler options for blended shops. Now, I reviewed this quickly a moment ago, but you have the option to curate the product selection from an automatically curated shop by excluding specific products or specific product types. This should be a pretty familiar process for everyone here who's attended one of our system overview webinars on Tuesdays, or anyone who's viewed that product management tutorial in the system onboarding. But essentially, you're going to use the product filters within the product manager to view only those you want to exclude, and then create a new product exclusion rule for those particular products or attributes. I can send the tutorial for that out, but I want to make sure that we're able to dig into these more advanced features on this webinar. So that'll be a separate resource I'll include. Building a blended shop by adding featured products to an automatically built shop is also pretty straightforward. You can create your shop through the automated shop creation process, then build featured products to offer fixed combinations of products, designs, and print locations. So you would follow that same automated shop creation process and then build those individual featured products. Those featured products that you build will be displayed at the beginning of your product feed in order to display them and highlight them in the shop in the order in which you create them. So that allows you to highlight certain offerings and really customize that product feed. Now, if the process of manually building featured products to populate your shop sounds a little daunting, but you want to maintain a fixed product selection without the possibility of new products being added to your shop automatically when we make catalog updates, you do have another option. So you can manually select particular styles to be included in your shop while giving your customer the freedom to make their own customized product selections. So let's go back through that process in the MOQ1 portal. I'm going to switch back again here, return to dashboard, and we will start actually building this new shop. So again, I'm going to click create shop here, and we'll name this one curated but automated. So again, I'm going to avoid selecting shop colors. Selecting shop colors, again, is the trigger that connects your shop with products. So if we don't select any shop colors, we will not add any products to your shop. Let's save changes here. And again, we're going to turn off this onboarding because we are jumping right into creating the shop that we want. We're not following this 1, 2, 3 automated flow. Okay, I'm going to jump back into the design manager. Again, this is a new shop, and I am going to add my curated but automated logo here. Okay, now that that is updated, we're going to go back into products. And again, similarly to when we were building that featured product shop, we are landing in our excluded product library. So this again is allowing us to make really particular decisions about what we are including in our shop. I can go through and manually select an individual product here and include just the G500 in my shop, but then I need to go through and make some color selections, right? However, you can also use our product filters to curate this pretty quickly. So let's say, for instance, I want to include all gray sweatshirts. I'm going to filter down to sweatshirts, then open up my color attributes here, and I will actually select light gray. Now, all I have to do is click this include filtered products button, and I'm going to create a rule that includes all sweatshirts with a light gray color. Now you can see I'm in my included products automatically now that there are some, and all you have here are light gray sweatshirts. Let's also go through, we'll go back to excluded. I'm going to filter down to t-shirts. And let's say I only want to include athletic gold t-shirts. I can go ahead and include those as well. Now, let's say the G500 is a really popular t-shirt for me. I can actually go into this particular product and you'll see I have the athletic gold already available in my shop based on the selections that I made previously. I also want to include sport gray, so I'm going to preview that and click include. And then I also want to include black for this particular product. Now, when I save my changes and head back to products, I now have 28 items included in my shop that have all been hand selected based on the attributes that I chose. And again, with that G500, I selected a few additional ones for that one as well. So now we'll go into our settings. And again, similarly to that featured product shop, I'm going to activate, which launches my shop and activates my URL. Now, when we view that shop, my logo is dynamically included on all of the products that I hand selected. So this is a really great and powerful combination that allows you to speed up the curation process if you're not tied into particular design locations or anything like that, but you really want to have control over those products. Now, with this particular situation, I've included all gray sweatshirts. If we add a gray sweatshirt in the future, that would be included. However, if I had manually gone in and selected a bunch of individual products that I wanted to add to my shop, those would be the only products ever included. We would never add another product that met those attributes because the attributes are based on the style number itself. So that's a really great way to really keep this shop locked down, but still give your customer the freedom of that really unique UX that we're offering on the front end for MOQ1 shops. Okay, now let's hop back into our presentation for just a moment here. So now that we've reviewed several store building strategies, you're probably thinking through which of your clients may benefit from each type of store. But there are a few other things you can do to optimize your shops and ensure that your client and their customers have a stellar experience. So two really important shop optimization tips I want to review with you are excluding designs from displaying on certain products and removing certain product colors from individual products or product types. So let's go back really quickly to the shop that we just created. So you may have noticed that I actually have a second logo in the folder that I opened here that has some athletic gold in it. So now when I refresh my storefront, you will likely see that athletic gold logo displaying on athletic gold products. I personally don't really like the way that looks. And when this garment is printed, the printed gold against the gold in the fabric may not look great. So let's go back to the portal and review the process for addressing this. So I'm going to go into my designs here, and you can see that new athletic gold logo that I uploaded available in my design library. If I click on this logo, I'm going to be able to view the advanced design options that are available. And one of those is color exclusion. So I actually have the system calling out potentially conflicting product colors. So this recognizes, because I don't have any shop colors, it's calling out anything that is adjacent to the colors that are used in my logo. So I know that I don't have any of these colors included in my shop. So I'm not going to worry about those color exclusions. However, athletic gold, I do have those t-shirts available. So I'm going to exclude this logo from being displayed on athletic gold products. Now, when I refresh, every time you see an athletic gold product, it's going to be displaying with the dark and light blue variant of this logo that I uploaded to the shop. So that's really, really important functionality for you to be aware of as you are building and managing your shops. Another example of a conflict you may encounter is if you have a black logo and you happen to select dark heather garments. The combination has really low contrast when it's printed and can lead to issues with customer satisfaction. So that's an important one for you to be aware of when you are making these selections for your shop colors and your product colors as well. Okay, so the second optimization tip that I really want you to be aware of is making changes to the product colors that are available for particular garments or garment types. So let's go back to the automatically created shop that we made earlier. And let's say I want to offer white products, but I really dislike white ladies t-shirts. My customers have always complained about them being too thin, and I just don't want the headache of the customer service experience being increased by adding that color. So I'm going to go in and actually add white as a product color here. Now, in order to exclude the white ladies t-shirts, I'm just going to stack all these filters on top of one another until I'm viewing only the products that I want to exclude. So I will click t-shirts, women's, and then I'm going to go down and select white. So now I'm viewing only the white variants of women's t-shirts, and I'm going to create this rule to exclude those particular variants from my shop. Now you'll notice if I click on the G500 here, the white variant is still included because this is a unisex or men's product. However, if I find let me use the filters here. If I find a women's product, for instance, the G500L, the white variant is not included. So that's a really powerful tool for you to be able to optimize these shops based on your and your client's preferences. Another scenario that I think is really important to include is, so I really want to offer drinkware, but I'm not a fan of printed background colors. So what I'm going to do is go into my drinkware options. And rather than going in and excluding, which I can do, I can go in here and exclude gray, exclude maroon, exclude navy. What I actually prefer to do here is, let's click on drinkware. I'm going to exclude all drinkware just to start. Now I'm going to go to my excluded products, click on drinkware, and click on white. I only want to include these white drinkware products because I think they print the best and they lead to the best customer satisfaction. So now I'm going to include my white drinkware products, and those are the only variants that are available in my shop. So that's really powerful functionality when you are trying to make shop changes quickly and really get ahead of any customer service scenarios that you have encountered regularly. A lot of you have experience in the e-commerce world, so these are not new things to you. This is just a new situation in which you're encountering them. So we want to give you the tools to get ahead of these situations and really make sure your customers have a stellar experience. So as you're building MOQ1 shops for your clients, it's really important that you're considering the client's needs as well as the experience of the customers. The strategy that you use to build the shop can make a big difference in the customer's perception of it, and selecting the right strategy can really elevate your outcomes. So while MOQ1 shops are pretty impressive out of the box, making these small strategic tweaks will ensure your clients and their customers come back again and again. I encourage all of you to test out a few of these shop building strategies if you haven't already and get more comfortable. We want to put you in a position to easily create any type of shop and truly exceed your customers' expectations every time. So now we can move on to the Q&A portion of the webinar. I know quite a few questions have rolled in while I've been going through this demo, so I apologize for taking a little while to jump over there. I'm going to just reorganize some things on my screen. Hello, Bobby from Texas. Nice of you to join us today. So we have a question about the 30% margin that's built in. So that 30% margin is 30% of the retail price that's listed on the shops. So the example that I always go back to is that G500 t-shirt. The base list price of that product is $17.95 before you make any pricing modifications. Of that $17.95 that's being paid by the customer, $5.38 of that is your commission. So 30% of the total purchase price out of the box goes to you. Question here, will the URL now say bespoke instead of MOQ1? So just to explain, the reason you're seeing bespoke in the URL is because I am doing this demo from within my bespoke company account. If you are performing a shop building process in the Bob's Promos company, it would say moq1.com/Bob's Promos/your client. So that's a really important one to point out. Bespoke will have no branding in this experience for either you or your customer. Most of my sites are completely made of featured products. The problem that I'm having is managing the continually added new products. I have to go to all 30 sites and manually remove the new products immediately. So Dan, hopefully you were able to glean this from the demo. I know this question came in pretty early, but when you are planning to create shops exclusively built from featured products, if you avoid selecting shop colors, we will never add anything to your site. You will build those products from products that are in an excluded state. So you are manually picking every individual product that's added. So I hope that I was able to address that question throughout the demo. If you need any additional clarification on that, please add something else to the Q&A and I can address it. Okay, does the 30% profit come as a check or can it be set up as ACH? So right now for the standard MOQ1 experience, we are mailing out those commission checks. in the USPS via mail. So those will come to you on the 15th of the month following the sale. So for instance, we are in 2 days, we are sending out checks for the month of February. So we just need some time to do the accounting on our side and actually physically cut the checks. Now, I do want to note that for those of you that are involved in the MOQ1 enterprise solution, that can be set up with ACH payments so that we're not sending paper checks that way. But yeah, just some options there for you depending on the solution that you're using. Test sites and old sites, can we delete them or just keep them as deactivated? So right now, the state that we suggest that you leave them in is deactivated. That allows all the reporting to continue to point back to a shop that is valid, and it doesn't lead us to any empty data. We are working on a way that'll allow you to archive those shops so that our data stays clean, your data stays clean, and those shops are kind of out of your way. But again, those inactive shops are going to fall into a different folder in your My Shops page. So they should be out of the way already, but we're working on a more permanent solution for handling those shops you're no longer interested in. As a distributor, my sales reps that have client stores have quotas. If this process just sends a check for the 30% margin, is there a way that current MOQ1 clients are running total revenue reports and able to report that back to the company? How often are these stores sending reports / profits to the distributor? So you as a distributor have access to all of your sales reps' performance. So the reporting section of the MOQ1 platform will, for you particularly as a shop admin, will include the sales data for every single shop that was created within your company directory, whether that was created by you or a rep that you invited to the platform. So that's really, these reports are updated in real time. I'll include a link to our reporting webinar that we did a few weeks back that goes into really deep detail about the reports that are available and how they're beneficial when you're managing your business. But that will absolutely address your question and in much more detail than I am able to go into without actually demonstrating it. So I will send those along as well. I'm just going to write this down. I may actually, just because this came up last time, I think I'm going to include links to all 6 of the recorded webinars, the advanced series, when I send out my follow-up email today. It was really helpful to folks last week because we continually are referencing the same topics, right? So I will send out all 6 of those links and passwords to everyone who's in attendance today. Just writing this down so I don't forget. Will you ever have different levels of shop admin so we can allow our clients to make changes to products and shop changes on their own? So Leon, yes, we're actually working on some things in the background that will allow you to transfer shop ownership to a new account. So we will definitely go through and have some tutorials on this process when we're able to release the functionality, but we understand that a lot of the business processes that you are all utilizing involve passing the shops along to your clients or having shop builders within your company and passing shops along to your reps to manage them, right? So we want to be able to accommodate both of those processes. Right now, the level of access that you're able to provide is a little limited to that report viewer account if you want them to only have access to their particular shop. But again, to directly answer your question, yes, we are working on that functionality. Once a site made entirely of featured products is built, can I go back into the settings to remove the colors and avoid manually managing the new products? Yes, Dan, that is absolutely the best option. And I see you followed up saying I answered your questions, but I want to make sure that everyone else is aware of that. So I want to say it explicitly. If you have already created featured product only shops and you want to avoid removing new products in the future, just hop into your settings and remove those shop colors, because that's the basis by which we are adding new products to your shop. If there are no shop colors, we will not add a thing. So very easy for you to make that modification after the fact as well. The main challenge here seems to be setting up a store where certain design elements, like Acme Electrical on the front and their list of services on the back, are fixed and can't be changed by the customer. Right now, the only way to do that is by creating a featured product store, but the downside is each product has to be set up individually. That is true, Charles. So this is, again, the manual product creation process is pretty quick with MOQ1 as compared to other solutions that are out there. But I understand it is still a manual process. So that's something that we are cognizant of, and we're thinking about some solutions to that on our end. But I also want to point out that there are still some pretty stellar benefits of utilizing MOQ1, regardless of whether you're building those shops manually. So first of all, you can still manage all of your product pricing catalog wide with just the click of a button. You don't need to go in and manage each individual product and make it such a traditional experience. You can still utilize a ton of those automated processes within the MOQ1 platform. Also have access to all of our reporting, our customer service. I know you in particular, Charles, are really familiar with all the benefits, but I'm saying this for the sake of everybody else. So we are working in the long term on providing the option to lock a particular design into a particular print location. That's not something we have available just yet, but it's on our long-term roadmap. We understand that that's something that folks are looking for. So we are working on a solution to that. As for a particular ETA, I don't have that just yet, but we do see the benefit of adding that functionality. So it's coming. How do you permanently delete shops altogether? So Jack, I think this goes back to a question that I answered a few minutes ago. Right now, we're working on the ability to archive those deactivated shops or delete them only if there were no sales in those shops. However, in order for the reporting to remain intact, we need for those shops to still exist. Otherwise, you're not able to reference anything related to data that links back to that shop. So we're working on a more permanent solution to that, but deactivating it will keep it out of your way for the time being. Are you looking into allowing names to the designs when uploading white designs with a transparent background? It can be really hard to tell them apart. That's a great point, Charles. So yes, we are working on a tagging/naming system that'll allow you to identify your designs a little bit more easily. When you open the design, you can also preview it on background colors, which is helpful, but we are working on that for sure. I will make sure that you are personally notified when that happens, because I know we've discussed that a few times. On your site, I've seen custom banners. Is that something available to us? So that's something that we have in beta right now. We're working on it. We're really excited to launch it this year. So we are working on dynamic banners that will allow you to create banner templates, even as a shop administrator, that your reps will have access to, or just upload a standard banner if you have the correct size for an individual shop. So really cool functionality coming down the line on shop customization. But yes, those things are coming. How do you delete all artwork and start fresh with new logos? So Jack, if you need to reach out to us to have us delete any artwork, we're happy to do that. Again, deletion is something that we're not a fan of in terms of keeping the reporting intact, because we do have some reports that are related to a particular design, a particular product, particular shops, etc. So we're trying to work on the archive side of things in order to make sure that data stays intact. Is there a way we can choose zero margin? So you are not able to reduce that 30% margin just yet. One of the new features that we have coming soon is a promotion system that will allow you to discount every product in your shop by up to 100% of your margin. So that functionality is coming, and it would be displayed to your clients in the form of a sale, which actually will add to the marketing benefit of those shops as well. Another option that you can go through if you're interested in having just no margin, the MOQ1 Enterprise solution does allow you to customize that margin as well. So something for you to be aware of in the future. How do you simply set up a left chest and back? So Jack, I think that harkens back to the curated shop that I highlighted, the Markham Motors shop. So that one you would create with featured products. You would lock that front design in to left chest only, and then turn that garment around and add a back design as well. Featured products, the design location cannot be modified unless you allow your customer to do that by selecting the user selected positioning option. So if you really want to lock in a particular design to a particular location, featured products are the way to do that for now. So our shop gets the marked up price and we keep the 30%, correct? Correct. So the price that your customer pays will include all product and production costs and a 30% margin for you. Any markup you add on top of that is in addition to the 30% base price that you're receiving. I am worried that my client will look up MOQ1 on Google and cut me out. So, Rick, I have good news for you. We have an incredibly manual vetting process that ensures that anyone who receives an MOQ1 account is part of the promotional products industry. We verify all business information that is submitted to us at the time that an account is requested, and we decline lots of folks. We decline people when we believe that they are end users. And I also want you to know that we perform audits to make sure if we encounter anyone that may have slipped through the cracks, we do remove them from the platform. So we want to make sure that this is a protected space for you and that we're not giving away the trade secrets that you're using when you're presenting these shops to your clients. So I hope that that makes you feel more comfortable. If you have any additional questions about that process, feel free to reach out to me or respond to the follow-up email. I'm happy to continue that conversation as well. I have reached out to Enterprise, but haven't heard back yet. So we have quite a few of our members of our sales team that are out at shows this week. So I apologize for the delayed response on that, Davis. I will get someone from our sales team to reach out to you a little bit later today to make sure that they can go through that process. The enterprise solution, in short, is providing you your own MOQ1. So that would involve custom branding of the front end and back end, as well as the URL, but also still include all of the programmatic benefits that you have, such as integration with our fulfillment, customer service being included, et cetera. There is a small startup fee associated with that, and there is a volume commitment as well, but our sales team would be happy to discuss the specifics of that with you. Is the system already set up to get ACH for enterprise? And if so, how do we get set up for this? So this is asked anonymously. So I would rather follow up with you on this offline if you are already an enterprise client, and your account rep can go through that process with you in particular. Is there a way not to include MOQ1 in the shop link? Again, that enterprise solution is an option. We also have folks that are utilizing 301 redirects, so they can distribute a link that aligns with their branding. So it would be, bobspromotions.com/your-client-shop. And then they put in that redirect. So when the client visits that URL, they actually get redirected to the MOQ1 shop. So the reason that we have MOQ1 in the URL is because we want your customers to have a unified shopping experience, and we don't want them to be confused by anything on their credit card statements. So it will say MOQ1 on the credit card statement. We don't want them to have no idea where that charge came from. So that's an important element of this as well. Is it possible for you to include item numbers near the name of the product? So Leon, I appreciate that suggestion. I will pass it along to our team and see if we can implement something like that. The item numbers are included on the storefronts when you're on the product details pages. But I understand you as a shop administrator, you may be interested in adding particular product styles to the catalog, to your shop's front end. So we're working on possibly adding a search bar so that you can search for the particular styles that you're looking for. But if we add them to the name on the back end, they will translate to the name on the front end. And most customers don't know what a G185 is. So we want to keep that experience clean for the customer as well. That being said, we're working on some ways or some ideas that we can implement on the back end to make that process easier for you. How do I see the previous training sessions? So Dennis, you can join any Tuesday. I go through a shop overview or a system overview that'll go through the basics of the platform. And I will also include all 6 advanced webinar topics that we've done over the last 6 weeks, including today, in my follow-up email. Thank you for the compliment, Jason. These tips were very helpful. I'm looking forward to being able to customize customer stores a little bit. Do you know when that is planned? So Emma, I don't have a specific ETA on that. It is our number one priority. We are working on getting that implemented in the first half of this year. Our original projections were to have that done in Q1, but we've made some of the marketing materials and things like that have jumped ahead because those have been a really big need for folks that are out there implementing these MOQ1 shops with their clients. So we are still working on the shop customization. It is now our number one priority again, and we plan to have that out in the first half of this year. When we set up a user for a new shop, it sends them an activation email that has a video selling them on the idea of shops, but they already have a shop. Is there a way to fix this or omit the video? So Joanne, we may need to follow up after the fact. I know that you have your own solution, so we can talk about what account types are receiving this. So in general, a shop creator account needs to understand what the shops are and what the platform is. So that's the reason that that's included. It's essentially just providing a little bit of context for the account invitation that they're receiving, particularly because the account invitation email is sent immediately after the account is created. So we want to make sure that no one is in the dark about the credentials that they're receiving or what they're for, but we can continue that conversation offline. Okay. The promotion system sounds awesome. Agreed. We're really excited about that one. A couple more questions about enterprise. Hopefully I was able to go over that. However, if you have additional questions, please fill out the enterprise form on the website and our sales team will get back to you as soon as we can and we can discuss that option with you. I know I'm about 8 minutes behind on these questions. So I know I spent a little bit of time on enterprise. If anyone has particular questions about enterprise, please keep them coming. We just have some general ones. I'm just going to skip over because I did give a little bit of an overview already. How long does it take to get an account set up? If you requested an account and it has not been set up yet, it may be that you have not met our standard for existing within the promotional products industry. However, you should have been notified that your account was not approved. So I can look into that for you, Lori, and I will email you with a little more information about why you haven't received your credentials. When do new products get added? So Emma, great question. They get added pretty much continuously. So we had 40 products added, I think it was 10 days ago. And then at the end of last week, we had an additional 20 added. We are undergoing a pretty extensive catalog revision right now. So we are adding products all the time. We are working to curate that selection and really make sure that we have a little bit of everything that you need from a promotional product standpoint. If there are particular product suggestions that you want to see in the catalog, please send those over to us. And we are always trying to expand that catalog. We are working on utilizing our notification system to notify you of new products because they are added so frequently. That way we don't have to bombard you with emails every day if we're in the process of adding a bunch of new products. So hopefully we're able to implement that system pretty soon here as well. MOQ1 should act like healthcare companies and deny all new accounts at least 5 times and then consider them for a new account. Charles, I'm sure a lot of people would appreciate that, except for those that legitimately really want MOQ1 accounts and are within the promo products industry. It would probably be pretty irritating if we had to say no so many times. I asked in the past about including a sample one-page flyer or note with a sample order that we send to the client. So we actually have that available in the marketing tab of all MOQ1 shops now. So the one-page flyer that we include shows some product mock-ups from that particular shop, along with the shop name, a QR code, URL, and a few of the primary value propositions of the shop itself. That can act as a resource when you are presenting these shops to your clients, as well as a resource for your client when they are spreading the word about these shops. So we have a lot of folks that are, maybe team dealers, and they are presenting these shops to a coach or an athletic director. And then the coach, a parent, a booster club are distributing these flyers to the teams themselves. And this has been a really awesome resource. We released it, I think 2 weeks ago, but time's moving really fast around here. So that's a really great one for you. I'm going to share my screen really quickly and I can show you where that is. So here we are in that instant shop that we created. I'm going to click on marketing here. And you can see my flyer, this printable handout, is available here. If I click on this, I'm just going to need to share this tab really quickly. So this is a dynamic flyer. Again, it includes the name of the shop, some of the products that are populated in the shop. I can also refresh these products. So we're seeing a new mix of products and logos. There's only one logo in this shop, so it's not refreshing to be super unique every time. But again, this QR code will take me directly to this shop, and we have these value propositions listed here as well. So that's a really great one for you to be aware of as you are presenting these to your clients. Any update on including background colors on sublimated items? So we do have background colors on all of our hard goods, blankets, towels, etc. The only product that does not currently have a background color are our hat patches. We are working on that. It's not something that we have that we're expecting to be available in the short term, but we are aware that there is a desire to add background colors to that product. So we're working on it in the background. It is just not likely to be something that happens within the next month. Can we sort the digital catalog by other sorting methods? So Leon, that's a great question. That's not an option that we have available right now, but I will pass that along to our developers. Right now, the default sort in all MOQ1 shops is that products are displayed in order of product popularity, and so sales across our entire facility. We are putting your featured products up ahead of that so that you can highlight and curate that landing page. However, we do want to highlight the products that are the best sellers for you in order to help increase your conversions. Again, we are working on adding some additional options. We've talked about sorting by newest, sorting by price, etc. So I will poke our developers on it and see if there has been any movement, but it is a really great suggestion. I have someone asking, I mentioned on a previous webinar that there is a user that has over 1,000 stores. So someone is asking how they're utilizing their reporting and if I can give any information on the process they're using to share success with their clients. I am not able to share that, Charles. I apologize. I know that you were looking into some like AI report generation stuff based on the spreadsheet dump that we are able to provide you. I haven't talked with you about it in a while, but hopefully that option is still on the table. But no, I'm not able to share the way that other users are interacting with that just yet. Hopefully we can divulge some best practices in the near future, but for now, I wouldn't feel right giving away what one particular person is doing. One of my clients has a shop with a few products. Is there a way to combine MOQ1 with their shop? So Rick, one of the things that we think is very important and kind of drives a lot of our decision-making when it comes to allowing additional products in the catalog, et cetera, is that we want to maintain that 1 to 2 day turnaround time for all products that are listed on the site. We also want to be able to provide customer service for all products that are fulfilled through MOQ1 shops. So it's very important that we maintain in-house stock of every single product that's listed on the sites in order to have a unified experience for the customer when they're making a purchase. So they have to be able to receive the tracking numbers through us, customer service through us, replacements, et cetera. So that's not an option that we have right now to integrate additional products that we don't stock here. But I don't really foresee that changing very much in the future so that we can align with those promised turnaround times. I'm curious what the capacity is going to be for maximum SKU count on the store. Clothing is going to take up more space due to sizes, colors, whereas hard goods will just have color variations. There is no maximum SKU count on the store. We stock tens of thousands of SKUs in our facility. I know, Jed, you have seen our production videos and seen just how massive our facility is. We have a few folks that are in attendance who were out visiting us in Detroit the other day. So it's really hard to believe how much space we have here until you visit the facility, but we take up nearly an entire city block. And we have a three-story robotic inventory management system. We do not care how many products you have in your shop as long as we can stock them here, and our capacity is pretty insane. So I wouldn't worry about that at any point, Jed. We will continue expanding and we will never restrict your ability to add products. In the product management section, is there a filter that shows recently added products? So that's not something that we have just yet, but we have talked about it as recently as last week, being able to sort by newest within that product manager so that you can check out those new products. We've also talked about adding a tag, particularly to the back end, so that products added within the last 30 days will be highlighted in the product manager for you to be able to check those out. Okay, got it, Angel. I apologize for misunderstanding your question. So Angel, when he was talking about the flyer, was referencing including flyers with orders. That's not something that we have available at this time. We want to make sure, again, that automation is the focus, and that's not something we have a process for. But I will pass it along to our production manager and see if it's something that we're able to implement. I don't foresee that being something we can add in the short term because it would involve including it in our automated processes, but I will still pass it along. Okay, so Charles is asking for some videos of production. So Charles, I will get together with our marketing team and see if we can put something in our MOQ1 Facebook group. However, you can head to the MOQ1 website and see just little snippets of our production facility included on the homepage right up at the top there. You can see some of the robotic systems that we have implemented in our facility. It's really incredibly impressive. So I encourage you to check that out in the meantime, while I'm communicating with our marketing team about getting something like that into our group. Will embroidery ever become a decoration option? So Dennis, I don't foresee that happening. We previously utilized embroidery within the Bespoke Labs production facility, and we encountered a lot of limitations in our ability to be true to the design as it was submitted. We didn't want to be beholden to particular thread colors or small details. We didn't want to rely on that heavy embroidery backing paper. So embroidery has been phased out, and we've replaced all previously embroidered items with our proprietary Digisoft printing process. And most folks, when they have a Digisoft printed sample versus an embroidered sample of the same design, they tend to choose that Digisoft design in most cases because it is a softer hand feel and it's more true to the design. So I encourage you to just order a sample and present it to your client if they're really insisting on embroidery, just to see how they feel about that printed sample they receive. Will we be able to access the customer list / contact information for orders placed on MOQ1? Yes, Jamie, you can access those right now. So if you head to the reporting section of your account, you can click on orders by date, and that will list out every single transaction that has occurred within your shops, and you can see all customer information there. So that will include their email addresses, names, physical addresses, etc. So those are available to you right now. Okay, so questions are slowing down here. I am running out of time also. So I want to thank all of you for joining us today. Just a few notes before we leave. Again, I will be sending out a follow-up email that will include all 6 episodes of our advanced webinar series. I encourage all of you to check us out on social media. Charles, that's actually another place that you can find some more production videos that are targeted and just about production rather than being a mix of everything that we do. I also encourage any of you that are not currently members of our MOQ1 Facebook community to go ahead and join. It's a great place where you can interface with me, other account reps that we have here at MOQ1, and users like yourselves who are already utilizing this platform every day. And you can ask questions about how they're implementing these stores into their processes. And it's been a really great back and forth amongst our community members. So I encourage you all to join there as well. Oh, Lori, I will no longer follow up with you. I'm so glad you found your email with your credentials. Okay, great. I just want to thank you all again for coming. This has been a great webinar series. It's been great to soundboard with all of you during these Q&As. We will continue doing this in the future, but we want to make sure that we have some additional topics to go over. If you have anything that you would like to learn more about that we haven't covered throughout this series, please let me know and we'll get something like that on the books. So again, I appreciate all of your time. Thank you for joining today, and I hope you have a wonderful Thursday. Thank you.